Continuity editing. In my preliminary task, I used a lot of match on action, as I found it was a very effective way of portraying certain movements, especially when my preliminary task was a dance audition. The match on action allowed me to create continuous movements within the dance that I think worked really well. I gained experience using match on action in this case, but then used that experience in order to make my match on action and applied it to my opening sequence. I use this continuity technique in shots such as the worry jar being passed round, the makeup bag being unzipped, the truss drops, and Sally opening the door to take a call. As you can tell from my frequent use of the technique, I found myself becoming confident in this part of filming and editing. Eyeline match is also used within my preliminary and opening sequence tasks. When using it in my preliminary tasks, I don't think I used it to the best of my ability, as it didn't add suspense, as the audience knew that the judge was watching the dancer, shown by her choice in costume and my choice in location. I changed this when using eyeline match in my opening sequence, by having Sally show an agitated, hurt expression before showing a text reading sorry. This holds the suspense of the audience, as they don't know what Sally is reading/looking at when on the phone. The audio. The audio within my preliminary task was very poor. I had to add voiceovers for when the characters were speaking, as it was not loud enough without them. This made the audio look fake and animated. It was very obvious I had added the voiceovers in. This taught me that I need to show attention to the sound quality of my shots. I used a camera that was sufficient in carrying the audio from the character to the camera's microphone in my opening sequence, and also if there's shots where the character was speaking, I would put the camera closer to the character's face, meaning the sound quality and volume was picked up a lot better than in my previous attempt. The actors. The actors I used within my opening sequence had clear and detailed idea of what the story was about and how they were supposed to act within it. They all adhered to this, taking on their roles well in order to create a realistic social drama. This was different in my preliminary task, as a dancer and the judge had no topic in order to react from, e.g. like domestic abuse within my opening sequence. They were acting only from the information I'd given them, as it's hard to act on a preliminary task that has no set genre, purpose or audience, and was just made in order to complete a brief. This allowed me to know how to focus the actors on one specific topic, and also taught me to brief my actors thoroughly when going through the narrative of the opening sequence. Filming. The framing of my preliminary task was very poor. I regularly cut the top of people's heads off within the shots, and this caused a lack of detail as the audience didn't get the full idea of the action going on in the shot. I changed this when filming my opening sequence, and made sure I framed my shots carefully and thought about this process thoroughly before even starting to film. I also didn't use a tripod in my opening sequence, which is why some of the shots were very shaky and didn't look like I had put a lot of care into them. This is why I used a tripod in my opening sequence, as it would otherwise not look professional and also give a distorted view for the audience.